ready to go. Welcome
to this.
To Two Queens and Crystal Things, a
Yes.
podcast where we are on to manifest your life.
Please.
Shift your mind.
And this is important, y'all.
Very important. And we are raising the consciousness type of shit.
Come on now, because for real, though.
I am Christie.
And I am Mia. And you can consider us your spiritual girlfriends for the next hour.
Yes, yes. Okay, so last week we talked about healing heart trauma. And as a collective and individually, we were all going through some sort of major healing. And our hearts are literally freeing themselves from past bonds and trauma. I don't know if you all felt it, but I've been feeling some shit like crazy. But I mean, there are several reasons why heart healing is so important. But what in our episode, we talked about, we wanted to focus on this topic because now more than ever is we really need to be open, and we need to be open to listen to what Spirit has to tell us. And Spirit speaks to us through our hearts.
Yes, ma'am. So today, all right. So you guys, we decided we're going to break this down a little bit. So we're talking about the spiritual journey, right? But we're going to break it down to a micro level, meaning, you know, how to walk this journey of awareness and growth and healing day to day. And deal with the human experience like in real life. Because, you know, like for real, because people want to know, okay, this sounds all great and good, but no, for real, but today, how do I take care of this? So that's what we're going to talk about. We've covered so many topics, you guys, from trauma healing to, you know, how to connect the spirit and meditation, all type of things. But we want to really get into the nitty gritty of how this translates in your daily walk. So remember, we are spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yes, we are. Recognize.
And like real talk, this human experience is a mug. Shut your mouth.
Right. It's a trip.
It's for real. It's a big. Sometimes it's a good trip and sometimes it's a bad trip. But so, and we share our truth here on this platform, and we do this podcast because we know how difficult it can be to thrive as your full divine self in this chaotic world. Like it's difficult. It's not easy. Okay, you guys. So look, when I say we know how real it is out here. So look at us. We're moms, divorcees. We're, you know, women in our 40s. We're, you know, I guess apparently past a certain age, as you know, women's supposed to be written off, but we out here 40 and fine.
Yes, we
have whole careers and are spiritual entrepreneurs. And we are coping and processing the world just like y'all, okay?
Yes, we are.
But I can say without hesitation that when I started really waking up to the divinity that existed in me, the coping and the progressing definitely got, infinitely better. And so we want everybody to shine as well, too. We want everyone to be able to walk this walk and feel better as we go through it. And it takes time and there's commitment. If you're listening to this podcast, that means your eyes are open and you want to know what the heck is going on. So so we're going to really get into that.
Yes, we are. So some of the topics, or the first topic that we'll discuss as far as today. So before we get into the topics, first and foremost, let's talk about dealing with yourself.
Ooh, child.
Dealing with yourself.
No one else. That's yourself. The start of everything.
It is the start of everything.
And I think that oftentimes, and I'm just going to keep it real, and I did this before too. You guys, when I say oftentimes people, I've done all of it. And some went back and did the shit again because I was slow. I'm slow. So yeah. So I
ride the short yellow bus. Spiritual yellow bus.
I had a spiritual hit my head a few times before I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. So, you guys, like a lot of people, when people come into healing, and it's like, I want to get over what has been done to me. I want to, how do I move past this? Instead of looking at yourself and saying, okay, what was going on with me? How do I feel? How do I look at myself? You know what I mean? It's really hard to get from, especially if you feel like somebody's wronged you. You're like, I need to heal from this toxic ass MFer.
Right.
And then it's like, yep, probably too. Probably need to cut some cords there, but let's get into you.
And I think that's a hard piece too, to acknowledge that, okay, these other people aren't the issue. Let me deal with my own shit first. And that's hard because I think we are kind of, and I don't want to say trained, but it's like we're kind of, I mean, honestly, our society kind of teaches us like, okay, it's not my problem, it's yours. Like,
yes,
you're the reason why. You're at fault.
I think one of the most overused words that I hear is we are quick to call a man narcissistic.
Yes.
Like, this whole narcissistic ass motherfucker. Like, okay, like, now there are men out there who are narcissistic, but everybody's not a fucking narcissist.
I met one and oh my goodness, Lord,
like, we throw
mercy.
that title around, but a real narcissist is for a real motherfucker.
Oh my gosh.
But I will say this, somebody who takes advantage of the weak energy that we put out, like, you could take advantage of me and use it, that's not a narcissist. That's a fucking opportunist.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? But so seeing yourself for who you truly are and embracing your shadow self, right?
Because that's a part of who you are.
That's a part of who you are.
Yep.
So, like, when we think about, like, you're saying that the sum of every experience that you've had in relationship, in the world, jobs, everything.
Everything.
That's
good and bad.
All of that makes up who you are.
Yep. So
it doesn't make sense for us to just dismiss stuff like, okay, that was a painful part of my time, but you grew during that time.
Sure did.
And we always think about the butterfly in the chrysalis. If you touch, coming out of that cocoon is painful as hell for them. They got to get their strength in their wings. And if you're sitting up there looking at it and you go over there and just like, let me just help it out and open it up, that butterfly would not live. It would die because it didn't get the strength of the struggle getting out of there in order to be able to fly.
I need you to say that one more time for the people in the back. Strength from the struggle.
Yes, we get strength from the struggle.
You guys hear that?
Like, for real. So
that is a message.
When we look at our experiences and knowing, like, I get strength from the struggle, you would not be the dope heifer that you are today.
Exactly.
If you didn't get some strength from that struggle. Woo. But when we get past something, we're like, oh my God, that's a terrible time in my life. I don't want to look back on that. It's like, we're not saying hold on to it and dwell it, but you can look back on it in a different way. Like, if not, I say this all the time, if not for some shit that I would definitely wouldn't be in this position. I mean, even with my ex-husband who gets on my motherfucking nerves sometimes, I still am grateful for the experience, because if not for that relationship, well, I wouldn't have my daughter. So, he gets a pass all the time just because he gave me that. But I wouldn't be where I was. There was strength formed in that struggle, trying to figure out who I was. Like,
when I tell people that I'm going through a divorce, like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, don't be sorry, because this is actually this has been great. This has been great. But something else is to be accountable. Like, be accountable for you. We have all done some shit that has not been cool.
Look, I'm up here like,
we have all done something.
Don't be looking at me like that when you said that.
Be accountable for the shit that you have done, and you got to drop that victim mentality.
So you guys, and I'll say this.
Accountability is the new sexy. I want to say that. Accountability is the new sexy. When someone is accountable for this shit, it's like, wow. Okay.
I like that. Yes, it is.
It is.
I'm bringing sexy back.
Being accountable.
I like that. I think, I love that. We do have to be accountable. And then we also be flexible and gentle with yourself. Y'all, this... Like, didn't I literally just say, I hit my head on these spiritual roadblocks several times and tried to run and all type of stuff.
All the time.
She's a runner. She's a track star.
Right.
In real life, I am. I'm like, in real life.
In real life. And it is hard, because there are sometimes it's like, man, like, I feel like I've been making improvements. I feel like I've been doing things better, affirming myself. You take a few steps forward, and then
somebody triggers your ass. And all of a sudden,
you black out.
I black out.
And then someone is in the hospital.
Like, what happened?
And you're going to jail.
Like, what happened? No. Girl, I'm telling you,
we're not speaking about this from experience.
No. But wait. why I was listening to this guy. I can't remember. Oh, I wish I could remember his name right now on IG. He does astrology. He does all these funny videos. About
was it the hood guy?
No, not him. So he was talking about the most dangerous signs, and I was thinking to myself, like, okay, everyone thinks like Scorpio. Everybody sees a Scorpio coming. He's like the most dangerous water signs. Everybody sees a Scorpio coming. Like, people are scared of Scorpio because Scorpios are freaking crazy, but they're fun and shit. But the most dangerous is Cancers. I don't know no Cancer.
That's Mia.
Because you never see us coming. We so sweet. All of a sudden, we're not. And then that trigger would just be like, gone.
0 to 100.
And then all of a sudden, then when you come back down, your eyes, your vision gets back. You're like, wait, what happened? And then you start feeling bad for yourself. Y'all, it's part of your journey. Just accept that. Just know.
And you feel bad after you didn't kill
after
somebody.
After the whole, I went, you think to yourself, I probably took it 10 levels too far. But we'll be real quick to be like, but that motherfucker deserved it, though. Fuck it. So don't feel bad. Do be gentle. Like, for real, y'all.
I ain't learning so much about Cancer.
My
mother's a Cancer too.
See, Cancers, boy, I tell you, just leave us the fuck alone. We don't want no smoke. That's the problem. We are not the shit starters.
You know what? I have to say Libras too.
Libras aren't shit starters either. Y'all want everybody to be happy.
We do.
I have rising Libra.
But don't push us in the corner. Baby does not like to be put in the corner.
But so give yourself some time. Like, seriously, sometimes it is a few steps up, a few more steps back. But just don't give up on yourself. Mm-hmm. You are worth it. I promise you.
Absolutely.
Every time you are worth it. And don't beat up on yourself. Now, don't use this as an excuse to go out here and clown and act a freaking fool. Okay, y'all? We just saying. Sometimes it takes you back. But the more you're aware of yourself and in the journey, you know how to stop it. Like, I know how to stop it now. Unless, if I go forward, it's because I want to. I'm like, I'm in. But before, it'd be like, I just blacked out. I don't know what happened. Like, but if I'm going to move forward at this point, it's like, oh, I got time today. Fuck it. You know what I mean? I'm just fuck it. Like, but I got time,
bail money.
I got time and bail money.
An attorney on speed dial.
But otherwise, it's just like, okay. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
Things that people say or how it hits you different because the more we get detached from our ego, the less we are able to be triggered.
Yep. And
that is definitely a journey.
Yes.
That's not quick.
It is a journey, which actually brings us to the next point, or topic that we want to discuss is minding your business.
Mind your damn business.
Minding your business is one of the best things you can do for the collective.
Yes.
And for your individual spiritual growth.
If you minding my business, who's minding yours?
Right.
Get your life together.
And we say this all the time. Like, your spiritual journey, it all starts with you. If you are looking for love, you first need to make sure that you know how to love yourself. You know?
And you guys, so in your day to day, when we're feeling hurt and we want to lash out and we're feeling less than or whatever is going on with us where we are about to engage in some lower vibrational energy and we're inviting it in.
Yes.
Stop. Just stop. Just stop. Just stop for a second. And I promise, I'm dead serious. So, like, I'm speaking from experience, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all I could pop off, but I am speaking from experience. Breathe. Just give yourself just inhale, hold that baby, and for a good 4 or 5 count.
Just trying to help
inhale,
y'all.
Hold it, release that thing, and then because at the end of the day, people really aren't worth that effort and energy from us. Because if someone can do something and make us act outside of ourselves, they got power. Yep. And we're queens and kings. Don't nobody have power over us. We are sovereign beings out here with our own little queen and kingdom. You know what I'm saying?
But I like that point that you made about, making sure that you check yourself, because when you allow people to push that button,
we're giving them
you're giving them the power.
Yes.
No.
Real talk. I mean, I'm speaking from experience, so I'm not just trying to
now that I can speak to. But yeah, you wanna get your power back, you wanna take that button away, just make sure that you're not allowing those people to control you. Because we talk about being
triggered and stuff. Like, I'm just pulling this trigger away from you. Yep. You don't have my trigger.
And if you really want revenge, that is the best way to get revenge. Take your power back. They'll be like, wait, what? They'll be like, what happened?
What happened? Usually when I hit this button,
they're like, wait.
You act up.
What? You're not, what?
Oh, Brownie's seeing visitors. Brownie's visitors in here?
Probably.
But no, seriously. Oh, Christy, that's a word. When you take that power back, like you no longer have the ability to piss me off.
Ooh, and they're like, wait, what? What happened? You've changed.
Oh, that when I tell, you changed.
You've changed.
You just haven't met this version of me. Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You have a good day. Now run along, motherfucker.
Right. Find some business.
Find some business.
It's not with me.
So yes, like Christy was saying, it starts with you. Mm-hmm. And if you are, and another way that we mind our business is even when we are in the midst of, and again, from experience, you know, when you're going through a breakup with somebody and we all about, a lot of times we get, you know, we all up in our ex's business, or we're going through the process. We want to know if they're with somebody because we feel like these motherfuckers have wronged us. If everything was good, we would still be with them. It's like, I don't want them to get to the good stuff first. You ain't minding your damn business. You ain't gonna get nowhere because you chasing around to see what this fool. I'm good. All right. You chasing around. Oops, you chasing around this fool to see what's going on. So you gotta, and when we really say mind your business, like. For real, mind your business.
Focus on you, boo.
Like, because...
Focus on you.
I guarantee you that your life is probably way more exciting to you, especially when you dial into it. And you guys, it's okay. If it's hard, if it's hard for you to let go of some stuff and stay out of people's business, do things that prevent you from being able to be in people's business. For instance, block people. But block. There's nothing like that.
Welcome
do
to
that.
The block parties.
Do it. Do a social media fast.
Yeah.
Don't watch. You know what I mean? Like, just pay attention to stuff like that. So things that take you away from your business, where you all like for real, especially these reality TV shows. We really care a lot about. People really care a lot about what
other people do. Like, when Will and Jada were having their shit, I was like, I don't understand. Why do they have to say anything to us?
Why they gotta tell us?
It's none of our business. We're not married to him.
Because the boy snitched because he wanted some attention. I don't understand that. I can't.
Well, with Hollywood, it's like, but that's not my business. Whatever you guys do, that's your business.
But see, this is how I know I'm still growing, y'all. I was here for the tea.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have gone searching for it. But that tea fell in my cup.
Well, like that
and
Derek.
I had to ship it.
She had to ship them chin.
That man said, "Who?"
Now she's like, Derek guy, I was there for the tea. Ooh. Just because that was funny.
Yes,
your entire platform
is girl. That was funny.
So, yeah.
That was like catching a pastor with his pants down.
Yeah.
Like he was out there.
Been there, done that. That's another story.
You would not make me spit out this Pinot Grigio.
Which is really good. It's a really good Pinot Grigio.
I told you. Okay. So you want to finish? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know our gummies and
It's okay. I know exactly what's going on.
I know exactly where I am.
Sometimes. What's your name?
What your name is?
Okay.
And also with the mind of your business. When you are focused so much on what's going on with other people, other entities, things that for real are outside of you, that means that you're not focusing on you. That means that your energy is scattered.
Yep.
Because your energy can't completely leave your body, but you didn't put your spirit over here, you put your part of your soul here, and here, and really engage. And oftentimes that's a coping mechanism that we have because we don't want to deal with our shit. I remember the first thing we said, like dealing with you.
Yep.
So if you are minding somebody else's business, getting all up in somebody else's stuff in order to not deal with your stuff, that doesn't make your stuff go away. It's just over. But it's like compound interest. You got that motherfucker in an interest-bearing account just waiting to pop.
And where your mind goes, the energy flows. Remember, everything is energy. Everything is energy.
And you know what? And keep it 100.
Yeah.
Oftentimes we mind other people's business instead of minding our own because they make us feel good about ourselves. Yeah. Like these people on TV, they're fucking train wrecks. And you're like, at least my life not this bad. So you'll focus. So you're literally bringing in some bullshit
that doesn't belong to you.
That doesn't belong to you into your life. and now it's a part of your life. Like, that wasn't a part of your life.
People
That's not
think
for
I'm crazy
you.
because I don't have a TV.
Girl, I don't think you're crazy. I get it. I am. We're gonna talk about what you take in your body too in a second. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Also, another thing is gratitude. And you guys know, yes, we talk about this all of the time. Gratitude.
We do.
But it's that important.
Yes, it means something for.
It is that important that we talk about it so frequently. And, how can you show gratitude or be grateful for your life? Exactly where it is. And it can be hard. Like, you feel like you should be living this particular life. Maybe life X. But right now you have life D. And you're not at X.
How do like, even in
I find the small thing.
That's what I was just, yes.
Man, like, I am so grateful that I had a chance to wake up. I think back to people that I went to high school with, and some people didn't make it. And I think like, wow, I'm able to wake up and see this life, and this particular person I went to high school with is not able to. Mm-hmm. Or I think about the fact that I have very healthy children, where I know people, where I know people who may be at the hospital with their child. Or I think about, wow, like, I'm able to live this particular life, or, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I have my health. Like, small things, maybe.
And I think that's such, that honest. And I don't know how to say this without sounding crazy, but I think gratitude also helps people when you're dealing with grief, the death of a lost one.
Yes.
Because when you start, instead of looking at, I lost them, yes,
Ooh, and I want
happened.
to say something about that too.
Being grateful for the experience that, like, especially when there's special people that are leaving us, you're just like, I am so freaking grateful that I got to be a part of your energy, that you got to be a part of my life. And when you think of it that way, it almost humbles you.
Yeah.
And it's not going to take necessarily the pain away, but it softens it a bit. It helps you to move forward. Yeah. It helps you, you know what I mean? Like, we can't run from this stuff. I mean, when I say, like, gratitude does so much, even when you're looking at your life, just like, okay, remember we talk about everything is energy. So if you are putting out an energy of gratitude for what you have. And
I will get a $20 check in the mail and I'll be like, ooh, thank you. Yes, thank you.
Come in,
thank
send
you.
me
even the small. And something that I would tell myself, and I still say it to this day, like, God, spirit, universe cannot trust you with the big if you cannot be trusted with the small. So even like when I have
Christie.
like, a little bummy car or whatever, you take care of it as if it is the best Tesla or whatever your car is. You take care of it.
It's taking care of you.
Right.
It's getting you from point A to point B. It's, you guys, remember, we always talk about, there's no ending to this. The ending is it's.
But I do want to go back.
Journey.
I do want to go back to the whole gratitude and grief, because I do think that some people feel guilty, and I want to say this before I forget because our gummies kicked in.
Mm-hmm.
I do think a lot of people feel guilty for feeling gratitude and expressing gratitude when there's grief. Mm-hmm. Because as a society, we're kind of taught to grieve and mourn our loved ones, but there's almost like if you stand up and you're like, wow, I'm grateful that I had this opportunity.
I mean, seriously.
I'm grateful that I had you in my life. Even if we're, like, even think about relationships. Like, okay, this relationship may not have lasted a lifetime like I had hoped, but I'm very grateful for this experience because it taught me whatever it is, whatever that lesson is. I think people feel guilty.
You know what? And also, and I, this might be just will sound weird to a few people, but we have a client that we both work with, who recently lost somebody. You're gonna know who recently lost her father, and so when we talk about grief and you're dealing with it, like, you guys don't understand. Energy never dies. Your spirit never dies. So
it just transforms.
It just transforms. So when you think about, you have a loved one who's on the other side working on your behalf. What? Moving stuff around, helping. When you're putting out energy like, I'm ready to move, and you got a team behind you of loved ones, y'all, that is a blessing.
a huge blessing.
Like, I mean, and again, of course, we are going to mourn their presence. That's here human. Because that's, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not trying to take away from that, not in any way, shape, or form. Oops. But one way to help us move past the grieving, and let me say, and this doesn't have to be grieving a death, grieving the ending of something, grieving a time in your life. I mean, hell. And when I say a time in your life, like, okay, all these women out here who are grown now, and you like, you grieving your hot girl summer life.
Going to the club.
You like, damn, I used to be up in and you like, ugh. As your 3-year-old comes along with their clothes off and peanut butter all on their face, you just looking like, do you know who that fella is?
But that's real though.
That's real talk.
Yeah, that's real though. There are some people that.
Girl, when I tell you, like, I asked Jay the other day, I said, somebody said, I was going to say, I'm like, Jay, do I look cute? She said, oh, mommy, you look like a mommy. I damn near, like, it's some rose up in me. I felt like this heifer called me out my name.
She didn't.
Well, I look like, I said, oh, this heifer don't know me. You don't know me, ma'am.
Oh, I look like a mommy?
Oh, I'm a mommy.
Oh, okay. Well, let me show you.
Girl,
I'm about to show you.
I was like, wait a minute. But, so we know that's real. We looking at these little, like, you don't even know. Mm-hmm. You don't know nothing. I have told Jay before, like, look, baby, whatever you thinking about, I have already done it and I did it better. Like, right. get your lies better.
Find something else.
Like,
yeah, kids these days can't lie.
They it's so terrible. And that's insulting to me.
Because like, I'm still holding on to lies.
Let me tell you something. Still, okay? Like, let me tell you something. If we had the internet when we were growing up, them lies would have been hot-tit-tat-tat. Wow. Yeah, we didn't, y'all. We were creative. Together. We were creative. But let me tell you, you're not going, baby, you're not going to catch, hey, I ain't going. It's so terrible, and I have literally said to her, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna give you another chance because I know you don't think I'm not fucking stupid. Like for real, this has happened before. I am not lying. Like this is a complete insult to my intelligence. So what I want you to do is go back in that room, come back with something better. Please, like if you're gonna lie, like go all in. Right. Because remember the lie. You're gonna get in trouble regardless.
Remember the lie.
So you might as well go for the gusto and see if you can pull it.
Don't be saying you hurt the left leg and then start hopping on the right leg.
Get it together.
You gotta remember.
Use your damn brain. Like I'm dead. Like y'all, I'm serious. You gonna get it regardless. Right. But it's the disrespect. You didn't even think about this shit. Right. Like, I'd rather you just come and be like, yeah, I did it. Okay. All right. There we go. Just do that.
Okay, so going back to...
Sorry.
Yeah, we went on
tangent.
That's okay.
These kids, yo.
Damn. Woo. Okay, but gratitude...
We do love them. We do love them.
But gratitude, yes. I will say, holds one of the highest vibrations that a person can hold. Yes. Gratitude does so much for you. And when you start finding something, even if it's just once a day or just one thing that you're just grateful for. I'm not going to say once a day, but if you can just like think about something once a day, one thing several times a day and just hold gratitude for it, it will change your energy. Like you'll start feeling different.
Ooh, Christie. Damn, that's real.
But what would you do? Like, how did you...
How did you do it? Like at my absolute
at your
worst
lowest.
Like I feel like we may talk about at my lowest when I remember. I mean, oh my goodness. Woo!
No, you cannot have one.
Just waking up and feeling like, oh, this is not a dream.
No,
like this is like I'm really in the middle. Of, like I mean that. Oh, woo! Girl, I mean,
find one
thing, and I remember laying on my back, being in the bed, and I'm like, okay. I would just be grateful for it. I was like, okay, so there's still a plan for me. I'm still here. Because, I mean, you just feel like some of this stuff is like, oh, y'all trying to take me out. Damn, you woke me up again. Okay. There's something for you. This was like, yeah, no, for real. Like, you just feeling like it's rough. It is rough. Those, oh my, woo. I mean, it can, but finding one thing to be thankful for. And I remember... you remember Kill Bill? Have you ever seen Kill Bill? Mm-hmm. I remember there was a time when I was at my lowest. I was like her on the bed when after she had been in the hospital, and she was like trying to move her toe. And she's like, okay, we're going to start with it. Like, I would have to break it down like that. Okay, I still have command of my fingers and toes. Okay. Like, I mean, I had to, like, break it down. Like, I'm still mobile. I'm still able to move. I can breathe. I can hear. I can speak. Okay, there's a plan for me. I mean, like, it got to that point. And then it's like, okay, now let me swing my legs out the bed and put them down. It's just, you guys, finding at your lowest, finding something to be grateful for. And then when you're building and you're jamming, you're thinking it's not moving fast enough, or, you're building towards something, be grateful for the fact that you are wise and open enough to know that there's more for you. Be grateful for that. Be grateful for the energy and Brantley. Be grateful for the energy that you have to pursue that dream. Yeah. Be grateful for the vision of your dream, because that comes from some place. Like, our visions and our dreams for ourselves, you guys, that comes from us. That's something that we put in our lives when we agreed to come back to this motherfucker.
Yes, ma'am.
It's in us. Be thankful that you remember your heritage, that you remember your meaning. Like, be thankful just for that. Even if you're like, okay, I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I know it's for me, because for me to have this dream, it means that I put this in here before I got here. So it belongs to me.
Even the smallest thing. It is done.
Yeah. Even being able to recall and what a dream or desire is, I have a passion for something. Y'all, that's a motherfucking thing.
Yeah, that is.
And something worth being grateful for.
Exactly.
So let's talk about healing. Mm-hmm. We've done several episodes talking about healing, but day to day, like, how do you start that process at home? Now, Christy, what would you say? If somebody's at home, it's like, okay, I can't get to a healer right now. This is new to me, but I need to do something right now to get me over the hump. Yeah. What would you say?
For me, I would suggest to meditate. But before starting the meditation, I would ask them to write down, like, what is it that you are seeking? Like, what do you want to know? What are you looking for? What are some things that you need to release? And as you're meditating, like, for me, I always use this analogy where it's like I'm peeling back layers of an onion, or like peeling back layers of a lotus flower.
Ooh, yes.
And my true divine version of myself is the center of the lotus flower, and like,
I like that.
So it's like every time I meditate, I'm kind of peeling back another layer or letting things go. Sometimes layers end up growing back. It's not perfect, but that's where I start. Just figuring out what it is that I want to work on. What are some things that are weighing me down? I think that's number one.
I would say, that's perfect. I would say, you guys, if you're at a point where you're just like, okay, I need to do something right, like, it's close, the shit is tight, the walls are
also energy work too. Energy work.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But people who aren't able to get to a healer,
true,
or don't know how to do that. Like, I'm talking, like, for real, we're going to the lowest common denominator. I'm talking about, I have, you, to the point where you beat yourself up. I need to get the energy and the courage and the forward thought to reach out to a healer. Yeah. Like that. Like, I can't do anything. And I would say, it sounds absolutely crazy, but you guys, at that point, when you're at that point, that's the point where you reach for the shit that you don't want to think about. Like, fuck this shit. We doing this today, because it's like even if we're not acknowledging it, it is subconsciously in you. And when we've allowed it to live and fester like a spiritual parasite all up in
it grows like a tumor.
It's like, the roots are strong, and it's in there. Yeah. And the further we push it, and then now we're in this state of depression, and we can't move, and we're lethargic, and you're stagnant. That's and you got to think about it. The only way you can go from here is up. So just go ahead and pull that shit out. Like, come on, let's do this. Have a conversation with you.
That takes a lot of courage.
But sometimes When we don't have the courage, Spirit will put us in a position like, there ain't...
Fuck it. It's like I'm already at my lowest point.
There's no place else for you to go, baby. We sitting right here. Let's do this shit. Come on. And sometimes that is the catalyst for people to move forward. But when you don't do, when you just like kind of clink down like that, that's not helping. Go ahead and just open Pandora. Just think to yourself, it can't get no worse. I mean, like, I am in full fear, hate, insecurity, jellies, manipulation, lying, deception, whatever the hell. Like, fuck it. Let me go ahead and open this box because it's bubbling over. It's fire and all type of shit coming out this box, and you trying to act like, no, everything's fine.
Yeah.
But you're depressed. It's not. Open that box up.
Yep. So, okay, let's also talk about, like, letting go of what doesn't belong to you. And something that you said, and it has stuck with me, is that, even if you're, yes, it's great to release those things that aren't serving you, but make sure that you're releasing it with gratitude, because at some point in your life, it served you. Yeah. Like, and that's another important. Look, I'm like, that's important, because that's another way for you to be able to have gratitude for for those parts of yourself that you're in your new evolved and awakened self. You're like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. I can't believe that happened. No, like, you guys, that's where we were at that time. And when you know better, do better. Even those failed relationships, there is something that I've learned, and now with now that I'm older and being able to look at things with a more mature perspective, I think about that. Okay, so instead of me getting upset with this person, what is it that I can learn from them? Or what did I learn about myself because of them?
And especially in relationship, because remember, we have soul contracts with people, and not every soul contract that we've created to come into this life is one that's full of flowers and pretty sunshine and rainbows.
True.
Some of these people we've created contracts with for us to learn a lesson. Yeah. So when we look at it, because let me tell you, there is not one person in your life by accident. Yeah. Not never one. Mm-hmm. And here's the crazy part. You the one who created it. Ooh, somebody just got mad at me. Sorry.
She's not sorry.
Take the trigger off. Because I'm not.
She's not sorry.
Like, serious. Like, you created this. We created this.
Well, and I think about it because...
And it's for a reason. So that's when you look at it, okay, hold on. Like, oh, I did this to me. Let me think about this.
No, it's true.
Why did I invite this motherfucker into my life?
Well, because I think about it with my first marriage that was physically abusive. And where I am now, I don't think I would be where I am now if I didn't go through what I went through with him.
Absolutely. Yes. Strength and a struggle.
Strength and a struggle.
Trying to get out. I'm just trying to get out.
And that experience also showed me that I'm stronger than I think I am. Because before I thought I was a punk. See? And I would just be like, oh, Christie, you can't do that. You're a softie or you're a baby. Or now it's just like, bring it on.
What you got?
We're ready. All right, I'm ready.
And sometimes our experiences are that moment where, even the bad ones. That's why I said, you guys, don't try to write all these things off.
No. Yep.
Because I'm going to tell you, for the longest time, what was part of my journey was, and I was thinking about, like, what happened in my life with my biological mother. There was a point in my journey where I used that as a shield. Like, you can't do shit worse than what happened to me. So what? And that was my strength. And again, now I look at this completely different, because my awareness is different. But me using that as a shield served me at that time in my life. Yeah. Real talk. And it sounds, it sounds crazy, but that gratitude for it is something different. And as you evolve and grow, the way that you view your experiences will evolve and grow. That's true. But sometimes you just got to open yourself up to seeing something and understanding, how can something that happened in the past that's done, doesn't exist anymore, but it does, but whatever, doesn't exist anymore. How can I change how I see it? It is what it is. When I say, trust me on that one, you can look at it different. Yeah. I mean, no, obviously you didn't go back in time and change anybody's actions, but I'm telling you, when your heart grows, you look at something with compassion when before you looked at it with disdain and hatred. Right. You look at something like, it changes your life. So then when you start looking at these things in a new way, in a different form, that's something to let you know, I'm growing.
Yeah.
I'm
evolving. I think that is the start of acknowledging the stuff that you don't want to.
Yes.
Because there is a lot of stuff that we will hide under the rug, we'll sweep under the rug, we'll push it in the corner, put it in a little box, and put a little lock on it, and then...
Look, and a nice little bow.
And we don't want to acknowledge it. It's like, okay, well, that's something that's going to be put to the side. But as we are dealing with ourselves, we have to deal with all aspects. The good, the bad, the ugly, the nasty, the stink, all of it. All of it, because that's what makes you you. Mm-hmm. So, all right, so let's talk about affirmations. Do you think affirmations, do they really work? Are they helpful?
I am, and again, actually, I'm so glad you said that. That was another thing that helped me get out of the bed was affirmations. Yeah. Was I literally having to peel myself up? What was affirmations? Damn! I just got a message. Look at my thing. I'm gonna tell you why affirmations work. And literally, when I say Spirit just dropped this in my head, the reason that affirmations work is because even when we're not listening, our heart always hears us. Always, yeah. Always hears us. So saying these things, this is why oftentimes people, when they want you to put petitions and we're doing ritual, they want you to say things out loud. Even if mentally and physically, you can't be in that moment, like you don't believe it yet, saying it out, your heart is listening. Yes, yeah. And so even if you're not there yet, when you don't believe what the hell you saying, you're like, I am worthy, and you're not feeling worthy, keep saying it anyway, because what you're doing is you're putting that out there in your heart. Again, remember I tell y'all know how I feel about the heart.
The heart is always listening.
It's always listening.
But it's, it's funny.
And that controls everything. Like like when we look at our brain is like the center that controls our physical places, like there's something sent to the brain tells you move your hand up. Our heart is like our spiritual brain. Mm-hmm. And so when we're saying these things, our heart is listening, and then it's sending little messages to the other parts of our system and saying, hey, come on, we're worthy. We got to act accordingly.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And I will say that, and I feel like I said this before in one of our episodes, but I didn't realize that I was doing this because back then I feel like affirmations weren't really that big of a deal.
No.
But coming out of my first marriage, like he called me every name possible. Every single name. I mean, he has said everything to me, called me every name. And once we divorced, I did this, but I did it.
You didn't know.
I didn't know.
Right.
But I was basically like reprogramming myself like, okay, I am not this, I am that. I am not this, I am this. And just reaffirming myself and telling me who I...
Yes.
Basically building myself up again because I had been broken down. Mm-hmm. So I will say that affirmations do work.
And plus, and also what it does, you guys, when you create your own affirmations. Every Monday we post affirmations. We do a Monday affirmation on IG. But if you are feeling so compelled to create your own or look, find something that resonates with you. You guys, I can't explain to you. I'm trying to figure, like, okay, the movie, I know you didn't see it, but the movie Girls Trip.
Oh, I saw that.
You did? Okay. With, Jada Pinkett and Tiffany Haddish. Mm-hmm. So remember there was a scene where, her husband, she found out her husband was about to have a baby and, with the girl, and she was about to go on stage, and she had to put this mask on. She knew, like, I have to go out there and put this mask on and tell everybody that everything's fine. And she was really struggling. I mean, she felt beat down. And she sat up there in that movie and she did affirmations to get herself ready to be able to do that. I am worthy. I can't remember what she said, but I remember I was watching the movie. I was like, see, they know what's up. Like when I tell you, it's so transformative for your energy.
Even if you don't believe it.
I mean, like, y'all, you're going into an important meeting. You're going in, you know what I mean? You're finally starting the day. That's me. Yeah, I got on the app yesterday.
She's free.
I got on the app yesterday. I had to do some affirmations as I was writing. I was like, I don't want to. Okay, it's time. I am ready. But yes, so It's like a little spiritual cheerleader. Mm-hmm. And when you are creating affirmations for yourself, you guys, I want you to think about, and this is actually the temple work, so I'm gonna shut up. Never mind. Go ahead.
Okay. So let's talk about meditation.
Yes.
That's quieting the internal noise or external noise, and just really taking that energy and your focus and bringing it inward, which is not the way that our world works, which is interesting. Everything is outside of you, beyond you, checking your phone and, networking with people and running here and running there, but very little attention or focus is placed on us, like taking time for yourself, sitting in quiet, getting to know yourself. So for me, meditation, I am a proponent of meditation. For me, and I think I feel like I have said this in one of our episodes, but I look at meditation as a form of spiritual hygiene. We wake up every day, we brush our teeth, we take a shower, we put deodorant on. For me, meditation is a part of my spiritual hygiene. And when I don't do it,
come on, friend.
But no, when I don't do it is. But when I don't do it, so I feel off. I'm not like, it just feels like, think about when you're not able to brush your teeth in the morning.
I can't that.
Like you just, and that's how it feels.
Yeah.
That's how it feels when I don't meditate. And I usually meditate in the morning and I meditate in the evening. But for me, it has become a part of my daily hygiene.
I love that. I love spiritual hygiene. Yes, absolutely. And so I do want to dispel the thought that meditation, and the only reason I say this is because I remember feeling like this, like, I wish I could meditate.
Now, okay, so how did you get over that?
Honestly, I was talking to a healer, and they told me that I needed to meditate. And I said to him, because I was dead and serious, I was like, oh, I can't do that. Like, I don't know how, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, because it felt inauthentic to me. And so in the way that she broke it down to me, she was like, you're not trying to focus on anything. All you're trying to do is whatever comes up. And this is how she told me to do it. Whatever comes up, like when you're trying to quiet your mind, just address it. Be like, oh, okay, thank you. Address it and keep it moving until all the little tabs that come up are gone,
right.
And then you're sitting there just and it's some, and you guys, it's not about solving anything, but there is something about quieting your mind and just sitting there that'll like it's so much clarity.
Yes,
and it's like, oh,
speak it.
It's just it is a moment of peace.
Yeah. Clarity,
and your soul needs peace. When we provide ourselves with peace, our soul is on the inside like, oh, wait a minute, I can come out and play. That's why we got to protect our energy.
Yep.
How did you get over it?
So I don't know that I ever felt like I couldn't meditate. I think I felt like I just... Well, no, I guess I did. I felt like I was doing it wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem doing it.
I would have this image of the monks.
Right.
That.
Or I thought that I had to just have a blank mind, but I realized that, like you said, I kind of have like this, this film running through my head.
You're just like, oh, okay.
And it's like a film strip, like a movie, things passing by and acknowledging and like I'm sitting in the audience like, oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I remember that. All right, letting it pass.
You know what? That's a good way to look at that. It's like when you go to the movies, it's like the previews.
Right.
Before the movie.
It's like, okay.
You're like, okay. And so you're not upset about it. It's, it's just,
like, oh,
because
man.
Everything comes for a reason.
Yeah.
Right? And then, so it's just like, okay, let me acknowledge it. Look at this. Okay. Got it. That's not what I'm here for today.
Right.
Oh,
keep your phone off. Okay. Got that.
Keep it moving. Okay. Right.
Keep it down in the movie theater. Okay.
Got that. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the movie comes, and the movie in a sense is that
silence.
That silence, that internal silence, that clarity. And here's the difference. Then you get this silence, right? And you just having that moment of peace. Now, whatever comes up, you can address with a whole different mindset.
And you know what I call that?
You can see it so clear.
You know what I call that space? I call it the realm of infinite possibilities.
Yes.
After reading Joe Dispenza's book, like
because it's just
infinite possibilities.
Once you get to that moment, and again, you guys, there's no right or wrong ways to do it.
There isn't.
We actually have some guided meditations that we wrote that we need to put out. We recorded them and every damn thing. But anyway, okay, but you guys, there is I love that the realm of infinite possibilities, because now you're clear. Like, I am clear. So now you're like, okay, now let me go back and look at this situation with this clear mind. And what happens is, I posted this the other day too. This is where you get confirmation of, I know who the fuck I am. I wrote, like, you saw what you saw, you heard what you heard, you know what you know. Now act accordingly. So when we have that peace and clarity, and we are assessing situations on how to move forward or where we are in our life, or we're getting closer in that divinity in us, getting to that source, now act accordingly. Address your motherfucking crowns and let's get cracking out here.
Right. We got work to do. But this is different type of work. Yeah, it's a different type of work.
Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Also with meditation, I mean, just because I think you guys also know that I'm a little bit of a science nerd. Maybe you do, maybe you don't.
That's that Virgo rising.
But, I mean, so, couple things. So, meditation enhances your self-awareness. I will say that when I get high, I love meditating.
It's the best.
It is the best.
Hey, do whatever works for you, but I'm going to tell you right now.
But when the beat drops, I'm like, it's time for me to go meditate. I mean, you can ask my boo. I'm like, ooh, it's time to meditate.
I'll be back, baby.
Right.
No, real talk. And
it is.
We have special gummies.
Yes. But then also,
I wish God.
Man. But I will say that, so you guys knowing that I am like a science, I have a science nerd background.
That's that analytical background.
Yes. There are some studies that talk about meditation, and it shows that, when we meditate, we're able to tap into our true source. Ooh, and our true source is the most powerful source of all. That is source, divine, the universe, spirit, God, whatever you call it. And we experience interconnectedness to all things. Ooh. And interconnectedness is something that we'll talk about later on.
I love that. Okay. So, moving forward, what are we talking about?
And we're at 52 minutes, just so you know.
Okay, right. So,
we're doing well.
We're going to...
forgiveness.
You know what? We're going to skip forgiveness. Let's go to our temple, taking care of the temple.
You guys already know about forgiveness.
I swear, we did
talk
a
about
whole episode on forgiveness.
You guys know.
Clearly. So, we talked about on an episode on forgiveness, and I remember, you guys, when you don't forgive, you're holding on to... And the reason I want to skip it is because our question for the queens today is about forgiveness. So we're going to talk about it. So we'll skip that right now. But let's get on to our taking care of that temple.
Inside and out. I think a lot of times we just focus on the inside. There are some people that are just like, inside. Mm-hmm. But honestly, like the outside, we really need to take care of. Like going to the gym, that's huge for me.
Chrissy, and I gotta give her flowers while she's alive. Christy convinced me to go to the gym with her at 5 o'clock in the morning one day. When I say she had been saying that forever, I was like,
please.
Boo boo. Let me and she's not going now. 5, and I was looking at her like she was whole crazy. Yes. 5, like for real.
At that time?
But why though? But when we talk about taking care of ourselves and loving ourselves, and let me tell you something, you guys, this has nothing to do with trying to be some jacked up version of perfection, or like I'm not saying to go do this like, oh, you got to be fine, be snatched and all that. But there is something about, again, remember energy. There is something about taking care of the body that is holding. Again, we're humans we're spiritual beings having this human experience. But this is what we can. This is what we came here in. This is the body that we have.
And remember, I said, if God can trust you to take care of a little, God can trust you to take care of a lot.
Yes. And think about it. What it says when we take care of ourselves, of our physical being. It says it tells your spiritual self that we're protected and we're loved. So everything is energy, even this body that we're in. So when you work out, when you go play golf or tennis or whatever it is where you are doing something where you're getting the blood flowing in your system, you're sending love to your spiritual self. Your spiritual self is like, oh shit, we love ourselves, and act accordingly. And so spirit starts to act accordingly, but and it's the free will. But you have to kick that off.
Yep.
And so and so I would say she convinced me to do it. And I remember she was like, just come. So finally I got tired of her ass, and I said, forget it. And clearly, like, I'm like this like my little other family, the 5 a.m. crew at the gym. But oftentimes I'll work it out. Like whatever. Sometimes it allows me to, when I'm discombobulated. Sometimes the gym is my
But I will say that I feel like it transfers over into other areas of my life. Like, okay, if I thought that I couldn't do X, Y, and Z at the gym, but now I'm able to do it at the gym, that translates for me in my spiritual life, in my personal life. You know, like I feel like I'm able to use that. Okay, I'm stronger than I thought that I was. I'm stronger than I thought I was in the gym. So that means that I'm stronger than I thought I was.
And this is another thing. When you're dealing with pain, like emotional and spiritual pain, let me tell you something. Transferring over that to a controlled physical pain, let me tell you, baby, it's like I'm about to take all these feelings that I don't know how to deal with, and I'm about to put it out here in the gym. So you're transferring it over. It's like, let me take this, let me handle this, and I'm going to work this out. Like, literally, it is a way to work out stagnant, low vibrational energy.
The gym has allowed people in my life to live.
Like, for real. Like, there's been times, like sometimes I'll be in the gym and I'm just super quiet. Usually I'm joking around and dancing and acting crazy with Christy ass, but sometimes I'm in the gym and I'm completely quiet. I'm working on something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I'm like, girl, today wait till I show you the workout this morning. We were doing ball slams with the medicine ball. And when I tell you I was slamming
I'm sure you were.
Because I'm getting some stuff out. So taking care of your physical body. And again, this has nothing to do with trying to be whatever, some made up version of what's beautiful and pretty and accepted. We're talking about loving on your body. And when you put some time, effort, and energy into your body, that does something for your spirit.
Yeah. And I also feel like if you're in a place like, oh, I don't like the way my body looks. Oh, I don't like the way my body feels.
The added benefit
get up and do something.
Thank you. And the added benefit is, then you get snatched. You can
have girl summer. Girl summer. We talk about it all the time. I'm like, why am I here again? Oh, so I can look better naked. Okay.
Keep going.
Okay, some more.
But so yes.
Okay, so let's talk about stuff that we voluntarily place in our energy, in our energy without even thinking. So food, TV. I mean, you guys already know about how I feel about TV.
But I would say something. I joke with Chrissy about her not having a TV, but there is something to that. You guys have heard me say before, or if you know I haven't heard me say, I watch Hallmark Channel.
She's the Hallmark queen.
I do. And so sometimes when I want to have something on, or I do like, Netflix and watch particular movies or stuff like that, but it's because it's predictable. Everybody is happy. That, like, seriously, the worst people are not worse. These are, even the bad person in these movies.
They're like misguided or something.
Yes,
and they
have a moment where they come to, like, it's some, and I can do. I watch Golden Girls. I watch some old stuff, but what I have stopped watching is the news.
Yeah, I don't watch the news.
Because this is how the news starts. Hello, it's 6 a.m. Thank you for joining us. Last night, 6 people were shot, 3 dead. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And it's like, that's literally how you start your morning. So what we're being programmed, like, you're starting your day with a fear mindset.
Yep.
So I don't, y'all told y'all, I don't watch reality TV shows, but being mindful, because it does affect your energy.
Yeah.
What you take in.
And it's that energy.
That we are, like, literally consenting. We signing on the dotted line.
Yep.
I'm taking this fear-based bullshit and bringing it into my life.
And you wake up with that fight or flight type of instinct, like that feeling. And then that's something that you carry throughout the day. Like my father watches the news 24/7, and I can't hold a conversation with him for too long without starting to feel anxious, and then I'll just completely shut him out, which isn't good, but that's my only way.
Can we talk about fight or flight?
Let's talk about that.
Because let me tell you something. I have always felt that was, that wasn't true. You either have that fight or you flight, or there's a flight. Do y'all know there's other options out here? Other
options.
It's other options. I was 40 years old, but I was like, wait a minute, hold on. That ain't it. There's not
fight. There's flight.
There's
ignore.
Find yourself. There's
mind your business.
There's so many other things. It's either because what it does is sets us up in extremes. I'm either a punk ass bitch or I'm a violent asshole. In both, we are not at the extremes, and people try to label us and make us believe and act in the extremes, but our being is the middle. Yep. We are from source. We are the middle. Everything comes from us. Damn. Sorry. I'm like, because I'm for real. When it finally clicked in my head, I said, wait a minute, hold on.
There are other options.
Wait. There's other stuff to do. It's an infinite amount of things to do besides fight or flight. When you're in that type of situation, I'm telling you.
You're so right, though, but that is putting two things against each other. Okay, you either fight or you flight.
It makes you choose. It's another way to divide us.
Yeah.
And when you are presented with a situation where you're supposed to have fight or flight, I promise you, somebody, tries to rob you. There is something different than fight or flight. I have talked some situations down off of just because I felt I chose to go with I see you and I love you. I chose to do that instead of I'm either gonna shoot you because I for real. I'm either going.
That's huge to be able to say, you know what, I love you anyway.
I love
despite
you because I can feel your spirit. I know the way that you are acting, trying to steal and all this stuff is because you have a lack mindset. So, but again, y'all, I'm not trying to be funny.
I feel like I'm in Sunday service.
I'm not trying to make y'all feel like this. Oh my goodness, I'm like this. Y'all, this has been a journey.
No,
understand. I've always been fighting.
I actually just felt that last week. When was the closing? Last week.
It was last week. Yeah.
Where it was no longer that anger. It's just you know what? I see you and I love you. Mm-hmm. Despite. Okay, so that brings us into the people that we are around, or the people that we choose to be in our circle.
Your people.
Yeah, that's why I have very little
people.
Look at my. I have a handful of people.
Because look,
intentionally.
And we've said this, before, just in terms of the energy that you are around. You know what, Christy, I think we need to do? I just thought about this. We probably need to do a part 2 of this one. Because I feel like, how much time are we at? Where are we at?
We just made over an hour. Let me see. Time. 1:03.
Sorry, you guys. Okay. Because we still got the question. Mm-hmm. And we got the,
Crystal.
We might want to think about doing
Crystal's going to be short.
Okay. All right. Sorry. All right, guys. We giving this real goodness and truth out here. Okay. So, what the hell was
we're talking about the people that we're around as far as taking care of your temple.
Protect your energy.
Yeah.
Pay attention to how you feel around how you feel around everybody. When you are around somebody, you feel, even if they're not saying or doing anything directly to try to affect you, pay attention to how you feel around them. If you feel heavy, if you feel hesitant, if you feel agitated, pay attention. Your body and spirit are having a conversation. They're like, we don't like this. Pay attention. If you're around somebody and you feel light and comfortable and home and safe, pay attention. Go towards that more than these other these other feelings and entities, and that's just really paying attention to how people feel about you. I mean, how people make you feel. Mm-hmm. And this is, and I'm just keeping it 100. This is something you control 110%.
110.
Like, you can control who's around your energy.
Which is,
And that's something like day to day, moment to moment. And sometimes, I'm going to tell you, this is where it gets difficult. When you happen to be around these people, when you happen to be around like family members and you're like, but that's my family. Like, I get that, but you have to walk into situations where like, okay, every Sunday the whole family gets together for dinner. But my cousins, my aunties, and my uncles, as soon as I'm around them, I'm back in the fold. I'm low vibrational. I get that. So let me tell you. So we're not saying that. I'm about to say, we're not telling you what to do, but let me tell you which is you have choices and options, and what do you choose? Don't ever feel bad for choosing to protect your motherfucking energy.
Put you first.
Put
main character energy.
Oh, main character energy. Put you first. This is your story. Don't you ever feel bad for choosing you. Yeah. Don't you ever feel like, I got one better for you. Don't you ever feel like you got to explain why you choosing you. Cheers. Yeah. Cheers. Tink. Okay. Don't you ever feel bad for that. Okay. I want to get into the importance of community, you guys.
Yeah.
So, like-minded and like energy people. Mm-hmm. How to cope. I'm going to tell you, finding your tribe is so important because it's the support and the encouragement you need, because this journey can be lonely.
Yeah.
So lonely.
You can't talk to everyone about it.
You can't talk to everyone about it. You know what I mean? And sometimes, even when you do feel like you can share with some of your family and friends, they make you feel like you're crazy, or they want to disconnect, and it can feel lonely. And even more, as your energy shifts and transforms, if you start to open yourself up more, you'll start finding that some of the people that are around you don't match anymore, and you cut yourself off. Yep. And sometimes it can feel lonely. That's why it's so important. This is why we made this podcast. Yeah. Because we know how lonely this journey can be. How you can feel like you losing your mind, like a conspiracy theorist, right? Like, oh, you hate Jesus? Like, no, I don't. That's my brother. Like, what you talking about? That's my like.
No one else feels this way.
No, no one else is experiencing. It can feel so lonely. So finding a community, and that's why we're here. Like, as part of, and so we have IG. We're honest with you guys. We share our stories. We share everything with you guys. So I think, the community is something.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And something that I mean, as far as the importance of community as part of our topics, this made me think of it. Whether you believe it or not, we are all connected. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that is very important, and something that a lot of us, especially new to this community, may not understand. Mm-hmm. So I am you, and you are me.
Yes.
And we all come from source. So we are all part of the same light.
I love it. Because, Christy, I saw this meme today, and somebody had like a brown egg and like a white egg, and they cracked it and said,
it's the same.
It's the same. I was like, well, damn. That's a great way to illustrate. You guys, we all come from the same place.
Right. We all have the same connection.
We are not over here like, oh, peace, love. And we're not denying that there are some ills in our society. But what we do understand as a society, we are individuals. Yep. The individuals make up the collective. You start to heal yourself, you spread healing and love and energy.
Hello.
And then the next person heals themselves. Yep. And then the next person heals themselves. Yep. And we just keep that moving. So
if I'm coming, or if I'm living from a place of love, there will be a general pull. It's like I think of it as like ripples in the water. There will be a pull to make the next person
ripples,
right? Yes, to make the next person want to be in a place of love. And like Mia said, like that's the reason why the podcast was born. If you think about it, just enough droplets. Like you put a drop of water in a bucket with water, the ripples come out. But if enough droplets get together, they form a wave. And so
then we got a spiritual tsunami in this motherfucker, raising the consciousness type of shit.
And if you think about it, if all of us do our part, two queens, we are one of the droplets, helping to bring that ripple of consciousness as far out as possible. So that's the reason why community is important, because if you work on yourself, if you have the courage enough to work on yourself, then you will give courage to the next person, and they will give courage to the next person.
Even if you're the first person in your group, in your friend group, in your family, to open their eyes and kind of start asking some different type of questions, maybe you're the leader of the family. Maybe you're the leader of the friend group to be the awakener for them. Okay, and you guys and we're so fortunate that we have the technologies. The technology has there's an asset and a liability, but the asset for us as a spiritual awakening team is that we can find our tribes.
Yeah.
And we can literally find our tribes, you guys. So take advantage and be grateful for the fact that even in your despair alone at home by yourself, guess what you can do? Find your tribe. Yeah. With some buttons and some clicking.
And each of you listening to this podcast, you are a part of our tribe.
You're part of a tribe, y'all. We're the queens and the kings. Let's do this.
The kings. And so, this made me think of that quote that Gandhi says, be the change that you want to be. And it made me think, if you are the change that you want to be, then that will be the change that you will, inspire someone else to be. And they're going to inspire the next person to be that change. And then all of us as a collective will be changed. And then we can all raise the vibration, and we can all be in the space of oneness and not just in the space of just separatedness. Separateness. What's the question?
Oh, our questions for the queen. Okay. Hold on.
Maybe that's your place to take away.
Yes, we'll do the questions for the queens today.
Questions we've been for the queens. Our whole mouth. But this was good. No, but I think this was good to be able to have this conversation, because I think, I think it's hard to take the micros out of the macros that we've put out there, but today, we're actually kind of
because we want
from a different perspective.
This isn't we're not trying to make this difficult. I can't stand when healers and readers try to make shit difficult.
There are no rules.
Oh, you have to. Woo, woo, woo.
There are no rules.
Y'all.
I tell people all the time.
Shit. It's enough out here for us all to shine.
There are no rules.
And grow and flourish. Okay. This is our question for the week. Okay, listen to this. Okay. Here we go. I'm reading it word for word as it was written to us. This is a very deep question. When I was younger, my dad strangled my mom while I was in the house. They are no longer together, and she has forgiven him, but I can't figure out how to. Any recommendations? Well, come on in. Christy? So I would say the first thing that comes to mind, you guys, is don't hold on to shit that don't belong to you.
Right.
Right, Brantley? Oh, you see, Brantley felt the word right there.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's hard because I've come from a place of physical violence, and it's hard to get past that.
But see, it's her. This is especially when it's your father, and doing it to your mother, and you're experiencing this. That's hard to let go. But I would say, if your mom was able to let it go and it happened to her, that forgiveness, the fact that it's clearly your lady because you're a grown up now, and if you're still holding on to it, you're holding on to it. You're still giving that power. It doesn't have power. And then so what happens is things like this, they start to have little unconscious bugs that we had put in our head, and the way we see people. And so now you're probably looking at men or potential mates as, I want something doesn't even look close to that, as opposed to being open and vulnerable.
Yeah.
But I would say this. The reason that you let it go is so that you can live. So you can be free. This is about freeing yourself. This doesn't have anything to do with your father and his journey and what he did. Because I guarantee you, he's dealing with his own demons. He's dealing with his own BS. But you are free from that. You have the choice to literally free yourself from that. You have no karmic debt from that.
Yep.
And so how you allow yourself to let it go is at the end of the day, that's your father. You say, I appreciate this person for his seed, for bringing me into this world, because I have a purpose, and it's my time. And what you learned from that, maybe what you learned from that is, I can smell a fuck boy a mile away. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. Or maybe what you learned from that is, I love this,
forgiveness.
Maybe what you learn is forgiveness. Remember, there's nobody in your life who's not there for a reason, and that you didn't place in your life before you breathed your first oxygen on this planet. So the reason you let it go is because you love yourself, and because you have gratitude for the fact that this man gave you life. Your mother let it go, and she's on her healing journey. And because holding on to it does not fit with who you want to be. You are not evolving when you holding on to hot lava and keeping you in the past. That doesn't belong to you, sis. And with love, we say it's time to release that and let it go. And if you didn't have this opportunity to release it this full moon, do it the next one. Right. But seriously.
Facts.
And so what we could do is write a letter to your father and tell him exactly how you feel. And then at the end of this letter, what you're going to do is, you're going to say, I forgive you. I release this. You're going to write this letter, tell him exactly how you feel, what's been happening. And just let loose. Allow yourself to let loose. And then you're going to burn that baby and let it go.
Burn it.
And it no longer belongs to you.
Yeah.
All right. What's our crystal of the week? All right.
That's
so
huge.
Thank you. No, seriously.
Yeah, thank you.
And the reason we didn't talk about forgiveness earlier is because forgiveness in terms of your daily walk. Baby, when you hold it on, and this is the thing because it affects so many other pieces of your life. When you hold
and
it
not just
on,
your life, but the collective.
The collective.
And I think that's one thing that people tend to forget. Heal. Yes, you want to heal for yourself, but many of us have a hard time thinking for ourselves. Initially, and we have a tendency. Oh well, Mia needs you to heal herself, yourself. So do it for Mia.
For the collective. Yeah, go ahead. Right. Come on.
For the collective. All right. So that was great. That question was hard. I was like, I don't think I want any of that.
But
that's real. That's real talk.
I appreciate this sister, and I told her we were going to do it for Queens for the question. I appreciate the sister being allowing her.
Yes. No, thank you. Thank you.
And yeah, Christie and I I'm not making this up, but Christie and I for real talked about this last week. I'm like, well, man, that's
deep.
a rough one, and it's deep, but.
And many of you are dealing with it.
Many of you are dealing with that.
Yeah, many of you are dealing with that, and that's something that day by day.
Day by day.
But thank you for that question. That's okay.
And that kind of involves our message of the day, so we can just do our crystal and we good.
Yeah. So our crystal for today is Mookite Jasper. So
I can't wait for y'all to see this picture that Christie's gonna post on her IG.
Gosh, this
that
crystal
baby is pretty. I want to bite it. It looks delicious.
And it's funny. A couple of you are like, "Is that bread?" Me and my fat self. No. So it's not a piece of candy. It's not white. I mean, this is. I'm still looking at it like, wow. Okay. So this particular crystal, the element is earth. Chakras. It helps with the third eye, solar plexus, and root, which makes sense because this crystal has. Red, yellow, and orange in it, which is so funny. Isn't that funny? Anyway. All right. So description of this crystal, also known, Mookite Jasper, also known as Mook Jasper, is a crystal that will assist you in finding the realms of expression, expansion, and life force vitality. So Mookite, it's a slower vibration and lower frequency, so it's more subtle and continual. Doesn't mean that it's bad, but it's more subtle and continual. So there are some crystals, the energies kind of pop at you.
Put like a Super 7 in your hand.
Right. Super 7.
Even a clear quartz. Like put in your hand. You're just like,
bam.
Okay.
But this crystal is very subtle, but it's also very it's very continual. So this is a really great crystal to wear either as a bracelet, ring, necklace. But this crystal will guide you toward a dimension of awareness, one that is needed for everyday living. Mukite also reawakens your ability to simply know the right direction to take. And so this will help you if you need assistance in decision making in the physical, non-physical realm. It's also, this crystal is very helpful in perceiving and understanding emotional and behavioral pattern handed down from your ancestry. So as far as you getting a clear understanding of things that have come from generations or your mother or from ancestors, this will help you to find clarity in that.
Love that.
So that you can, it'll support you in releasing that, those patterns, because many of us have them, believe it or not. So get up underneath that rug and clean it out. But this is also a really great crystal for transitions. So it helps to reduce fear and anxiety of change. I'm one of those people, I don't like change.
I don't like it.
I don't like change. I don't like change. But it helps with growing consciousness, and it helps us to remain present and flexible. So I've been working with this a couple days, and I feel like greatly grounded, because the last couple days I told you I wasn't feeling grounded at all.
You was flying. Christy and I did a medicinal journey. Maybe we'll talk about that in one of our episodes.
We did a journey
with some beautiful, beautiful souls.
Yes.
Some more of our sister healers.
Look, we are still doing the work.
Y'all, we put in what?
We didn't sleep.
We put in time, y'all.
We slept 2 hours? 3? 4? 3?
Did we? I mean, no, seriously. We put in like you guys. But it's so fun. Like, seriously, what topic is more important to you than you? Oh yeah, I'm a client.
You make it fun. Mia makes it fun.
I'm for the giggles.
Mama, I'm here for sister.
I'm here for the shit and giggles.
Who are you now?
No, Christy had me. Let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. We're doing this journey. It's 5 beautiful women, powerful women.
We did, yeah.
And Christy's guys walked in the room, and one of my sister friends said, "Oh, God damn it! Every time Christy's people walk in the room, you can see your breath." Like, if she's so goddamn cool. Christy's like, "I don't like being cold. Why y'all gotta do it like that?" Yeah,
I don't like cold.
But we got a lot of clarity. You know what? We're gonna talk about medicinal journeys in an episode. I wanna check some things before.
I mean, we could do it. It doesn't, we can do it. We don't have to use names.
Right. Look, I'm like,
we can keep it.
But for real.
Keep it on the surface.
And also, that's something also that you need to do in community.
Yeah.
I like,
especially healing, especially when you were helping in someone else's healing journey.
When I tell you, everybody, all of us, when we needed to pay attention to Christy, everybody was on Christy. When we needed to pay attention to me, everybody came over and was like, "Okay, come on, we helping her deal with this." There's something, especially with them women we had, baby. Yeah. We had the silent ninja up in there.
It's always the right people.
It's
always for what we need. It's always the right people for what we need. I appreciate that. I really do
too.
Oof.
Okay. Anyway, y'all. Yeah. So we're done.
What's the message of the day? Are you done? No message of the day?
I do have one. Okay. All right. I'm gonna tell you something. This is something that's been coming up for the last few days meditating. A lot of us are feeling down and out because there's so much chaos in the world. I know the day that the George Floyd trial verdict came in, there was another shooting. It's just like, well, God damn! Like, when does it get better? And we're talking, and oftentimes when I'm talking to people with spirit about spirit. They're like, if it's so benevolent and good and all things come from it, where did evil come from? So Spirit gave me this beautiful way to illustrate this, okay? We all have divine source energy in us. We all are creators. So if you look at yourself like a little God who has the power to manifest its world.
Yes.
Okay.
I love that.
So just as like Source created this universe, and there's many universes, but we're gonna talk about this one. Source created this universe. Everything flowed from Source, right? You have all these planets. There's just a lot going on. So think of your body, this life, and this experience as your universe, and you are source. So just like we create little chaoses inside of us, and they're masked as fear and judgment and insecurity and deception. We lie to ourselves about, the fact that we don't have divinity in us. That's a deception. We lie to ourselves. So just like we have this universe that we've created that is our life, as an individual, we just said this earlier, as an individual, it affects the collective. So what do you think, just as a collective is a universe, they create chaos within itself, just as we create chaos within ourselves. So Spirit has been telling me always to be mindful of the chaos that you're creating in yourself. When we heal and acknowledge the chaos that we are sometimes knowingly and sometimes unknowingly creating within ourselves, we add to the collective of healing. When we allow those chaoses to live, that jealousy, that hatred, that anger, the insecurity, that deception, the manipulation, when we allow that to live within us, we add to that collective. So as we are trying to shift and raise the consciousness of everyone, because we know how much we need people to wake up, that means you start with you. When you address the little chaoses within you, then you go out as a chaos-free person. And then now you got more people out here who have healed themselves. We talk about this all the time. Heal people.
Yeah.
And then you got more healed people walking around. You touch somebody else, and they touch somebody else. And the light is growing through the darkness. Yeah. The cracks in the darkness are coming through, and light is spilling out. Y'all, we got this. Do not give up on yourself. Spirit, when I tell you oh my goodness. I will almost tear up just even thinking about it. There is not one freaking time that I have gone to Spirit and asked them to answer a question or to guide me or to protect me through something that they have not responded.
Yep.
Because I put that in my contract, and you guys have everybody has the ability to connect with Spirit, and Spirit is waiting for you. And guys, there's so many of us opening up and awakening and understanding that we are source. We are God. We are creators. And see, when people get offended when you say, I'm a God, because they feel that they do get offended because they feel like that means that I'm trying to say, like, I'm a God, I'm better than you. No. When you realize that you're a God, you realize that you are a fucking sovereign being and you create your own goddamn reality. That's what the hell that means. This don't have nothing to do. When you're a God, you ain't worried about what that God is doing over there. Period.
Hello.
Like, you doing your thing.
Right.
So, but your thing adds to the collective.
Yep.
So if there's more of us who are out here on some bullshit, you add to that. But the more of us who are awakening and understanding who we are and go to our divinity and our source, guess what happens? More of that happens. And in order for us to ascend, guess what needs to happen? We need to wake the fuck up. So that's our message, y'all.
That was deep. Mic drop.
I'm just saying. She had said. That wasn't from me, y'all. I'm not that smart.
Mia says that all the time. She's not that smart. Whatever.
I ain't that clever.
But I mean, what you said, you stated facts. Facts.
So, we love you guys.
Y'all got that?
Thank you. Send us some more questions for the queens.
Yes, thank you for listening to us, Two Queens of Crystal Things.
We love you guys. Follow us at Two Queens Crystal Things and on IG.
Wings Unleashed 444.
Hey, Mel.
And her
at Christie R. Edwards, and that's Christie with an IE.
Yes.
And if you guys are looking for some healing services,
contact us. Yes.
Look us up. We out here to giving you love and help. We're trying to transform lives. Christie gave us all names this weekend when we did our journey. So my she's the awakener. I'm the awakener. And when Christie and I were riding back home to Chicago from our short retreat, I was like, Christie, you the fixer. She's a spiritual fixer.
She's the awakener.
So we here to remind you.
She awakens, I fix.
We're here for you, motherfuckers. We love y'all.
We love you.
Light,
bye.
Peace, love, and soul. Or soul, peace. I'm done.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Brown, we said bye.